And welcome to Q News. So what are the likely economic impacts of lowering the investigation threshold from 10% to 5% for Mercosur agricultural imports?
Well, thank you for your question. First of all, I like to make the point about the trade deals. Trade deals are extremely good. They lower trade barriers, but they are not the end and all to trade. There is this misconception that if you have trade deals, you will have trade. There is no such a thing. For trade to happen, you need actual people in industries or in agriculture to start trading with other countries. And we've seen that in the United Kingdom. In Britain, we've had so many trade deals in recent years with different countries and recently with South Korea, but none of them have resulted in improvement in the growth of the economy. So what I'm trying to say, there's so much talk about trade deals and also the content of it, but I'm saying it's over-exaggerated. It all comes down again to supply and demand and the local economies, how they compete with overseas economies. And they have advantage. The local economies have much more advantage to overseas imports or manufacturers. It's just how they react to it.
Is that how it's going to affect the market stability within the EU?
Well, we are talking about agriculture, of course, and I recall the British Prime Minister, Harold Wilson, this is like in 1975, he was referring to the common market back then. The EU was called common market. He said the whole entire purpose of common market is to protect the French farmers. Of course, this is not a fair way of saying, but I'm saying these are the conceptions or the understanding some of the politicians have. There's too much politics about EU and also trade. But having said that, I just want to concentrate on this issue of trade deals. There is so much changes in technology every day, in geopolitics, and also generally in trade. So to have a trade deal for absolute time, forever, it's just unrealistic. As President Trump has always said, whether with NAFTA or other trade deals, you have to have a renewal every now and then because things change, products change. And I'm just referring to your next segment, AI. AI was promising so much that was very little went into training since 2008. And suddenly in 2020, 21, they found out, no, we cannot replace teachers, doctors, engineers with AI. So they had that 12 years of lack of investment into training for these key workers. And now we see that. So what I'm trying to say is these trade deals, they should have a renewal time and a mechanism for it.
Well, do you think that these stricter rules could delay or alter the overall Mercosur trade deal?
Well, as you say, it all comes down to enforcement, very much similar to sanctions. They ask for these stricter rules have to be enforced. The enforcement begins for more inspections, but are there going to be more inspections? Because that takes also a lot of revenue. It needs huge amount of investment in inspection and also in enforcement. So there is that issue. Is there money? That's why, again, I recall maybe you should have a renewal within 5 years. If this is not working, then they have to do another trade deal. But having said that, this trade deal goes back to 1999. It's 26 years. So I don't know if you want to renew it in 5 years' time.